Imagine spending your entire existence standing outside a room, watching the light bleed through the gap in the door, listening to people live, and knowing you are forbidden from ever stepping inside. That was the reality for Subject 001. Known only as the Watcher, he was the first human clone decanted by the Ouroboros Corporation. He was manufactured to be an empty vessel. His operating parameters were absolute: monitor high-value targets from hidden maintenance closets, transmit encrypted surveillance data, and remain entirely devoid of human attachment. Take a look at this document. It reads, Subject 047 experienced nocturnal cortisol event. No anomalous behavior noted. This clinical, flawless stream of intelligence is the exact mechanism Ouroboros uses to maintain an iron grip over its manufactured assets. But in a corporate architecture that relies entirely on total surveillance, a deliberate blind spot is highly dangerous. For the Watcher, that blind spot materialized as a three-legged stray dog. Missing its back left leg and completely soaked from the rain, the animal dragged itself to the door of a Target safe house. Corporate protocol for an unauthorized animal is rigid. Unpredictable variables create noise and attract attention. The Watcher's training dictated an immediate security flag and an instant evacuation of the asset. Look at his actual log for that night. He types, "Safe house maintained. No security incidents." Sitting in the dark, listening to the thump of the dog's tail on the floorboards, he actively justifies hiding the animal from the record. By holding back that one piece of truth, the perfect observer severed his loyalty to the system. The omission turned him into an invisible saboteur. Some forms of disobedience are far more direct. Subject 009, a clone named Caleb, chose active defiance. Ordered to extract a 12-year-old girl so the corporation could wipe her memory, Caleb gave them a single word in response: no. The corporation did not kill him for this. They locked him here. A 12-by-8 concrete room with a rusted cot, a drainage channel, and absolute unbroken sensory deprivation. The objective was psychological starvation. By removing all external stimuli, Ouroboros intended to collapse his mind, erase his identity entirely, and leave behind a decommissioned piece of hardware. The Watcher suffered by standing just inches away from a life he could not touch. Caleb was forced to endure the total vacuum of life altogether. To survive a void designed to hollow him out, Caleb had to manufacture his own humanity. He started by physically recording the passage of time. Watch this counter. Using a broken pipe, Caleb carved marks into the concrete wall, tracking his existence until he reached 2,190. 6 continuous years of solitary confinement. Beside the scratches, he named a bird-shaped water stain, Mercy. He knew the bird was just water damage, but the act of assigning a name to a damp spot on a wall proved he was still a human being capable of creation. 2 clones, one standing out in the endless rain of a city street, the other buried deep in the silent dark of a concrete cell. The Watcher survived his programming by withholding the truth from his masters. Caleb survived his isolation by inventing a truth out of thin air. Ouroboros calculated that absolute isolation equals total emptiness. They failed to account for an anomalous variable, the instinct for meaning. Hiding a dog from a log and carving a name into a wall are driven by the same need, to claim ownership of one's own mind. A surveillance grid can track a pulse holding steady at 62 beats per minute. It can map footsteps across a room. It cannot measure the intent behind a closed fist or a moment of hesitation over a keyboard. Fighting a monolithic system rarely starts with a weapon. It starts with an unmarked wall, a forgotten file, or the quiet choice to keep counting.